The embattled mayor, Tiffany Henyard, has been under immense scrutiny from the township, Dolton Township, to the city of Dolton. A lot of disgruntled residents are very upset with her. And during this recent trustee meeting, a lot of people came to the trustee meeting to voice their opinions and to let the public know how angry they are. In the media, she tried to hide things and make it seem like it was only the four trustees that was upset with her. But what we're seeing now is that the city has taken umbrage with her in the way that she's handled things, from the Alexis Wilson case to the situation that's going on in those restaurants where there's been multiple shootings, and there hasn't been a level of transparency that the residents would want to see. But the thing is, she also has some supporters. Now, some would say those supporters that come out to support her, man, that's her aunt, or that's somebody, that's her cousin, that's her homegirl. But nonetheless, at these trustee meetings, she's had people that stood up, that spoke up for her. Now, I've done many videos showcasing the residents that are disgruntled with her. And to be fair, I'll show this here. Check this out.
Good afternoon. Good evening, our fellow residents of Dolton. I want to take this time to express my deepest gratitude to Tiffany Henyard and her team for their commendable efforts to better our community. As a longtime resident of Dolton, I have witnessed the transformative impact of 3 different administrations. However, it is under Mayor Henyard's tenure that I have felt the most connected and valued. In the short time the mayor has been in office, she has accomplished more for the community than any of her predecessors did in their entire term. Making me feel proud to be a part of Dolton. Under Mayor Henyard's leadership, we have seen significant improvement in our community infrastructure, paved alleys, snow removal services, have made our roads safer and more accessible. Furthermore, FEMA supportive services have ensured that we have the help that is needed in time of crisis.
Well, that lady right there, she's like one amongst few that will come up and speak on behalf of the mayor, saying that the mayor is doing a good job and things of that nature. So you actually have those people that live in the city that's actually satisfied with what they're saying. They're saying that the mayor is bringing change, right? I see more of the other side, but these people out there still exist. And to be fair, I try to have to show both sides. But let's look at another person from the city, and let's look at what they're saying about the situation. Check this out.
My name is Paula Ward. I know that you all know me. I'm a resident of Dolton, and my son was robbed and murdered along with 4 other customers at Maxwell's. I'm not here to talk about everything that's going on. I know what's going on. What I want to know is, why isn't security still at Maxwell's? Why is Maxwell's not closed down? That restaurant is 24 hours. Do you know how many people get killed, hurt, robbed, everything up there just trying to go buy a sandwich? My son was killed, shot in his heart, trying to go and buy something to eat. All these other restaurants y'all closed, and Pablo's, all these other restaurants, y'all fail to close Maxwell's. This is the only time I always come up here because my only son, his wife is still trying to buy something to eat. Y'all told me y'all passed a bill, and if they didn't have their own security by 10 o'clock, it had to be an off-duty police officer up there, or they get their own security. That restaurant is making Dolton so much money, but so many people are getting killed and hurt up there. If you Google them and look it up, you'll see how many people have been hurt. Y'all trying to fix everything else. Y'all got to fix the security first. Y'all got to get some more police officers first. This is a little village. Every time something happens, South Highland, everybody else got to come over here and help us. We too small. The village is too small, but the village is so angry now. People losing their lives for no reason. My only son is gone. I can't give him back. I can't do nothing. I have to look at Maxwell's open every day. They did nothing but sweep it up under the rug. The next morning, 6 o'clock, they still out selling food. How do you think that make me and my family feel? Nothing has still been done. They still open.
But then we get to the news media coverage, and there were a lot of people that was outside that couldn't get in, and there were a lot of people that was upset about being locked out of their buildings, and they were voicing their opinions. Let's look at what the news had to say. Let's look at what the residents outside was telling the actual local news and the national news about this mayor. Check this out.
How long have you lived in Dolton?
38 years.
Have you ever not been able to get into Village Hall?
One time. Not one time.
Yet another surprise for residents of South Suburban Dolton who now say they can't get into their own Village Hall. This after some residents were locked out of a Village Board meeting last night.
The village is blaming safety concerns, but residents are pointing the finger at embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Tonight, our Dane Placco has the latest controversy from Dolton.
And then I went to reach for the doors. You can't go in. Wait a minute. No offense. Y'all do know this is a government building.
Dolton resident Cheryl Hill used her cell phone to document what happened when she tried to get some paperwork at Dolton's Village Hall last week.
So what you mean? Why people can't come in there? Yeah. Why people can't come in there?
New security procedures went into effect last week, the village says, in response to threats against controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard and village employees. It used to be the Dolton residents who needed to take care of a bill or a license perhaps would walk in the main entrance right here, and then they would go into this common area where you'd see the service desks back there, but now it's all locked right here.
Excuse me?
Now residents have to talk to a security guard behind a window in the vestibule and conduct their business in that small, cramped area.
Young lady showed up earlier this morning, went in, and was totally upset. She had no idea that she could not go into the building, just the foyer, had to do her paperwork standing outside in the rain.
We are being treated as the resident, I say we, as though we were in prison in our own town, in a place where we pay taxes.
That message of exclusion amplified last night when about 25 Dolton residents were locked out of a village board meeting as those inside blasted Henyard during public comment.
I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth is true.
The meeting ended early when 4 opposition trustees walked out, saying there was ample room for the crowd and refusing entry to all would violate the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
The meeting was adjourned because we have to have enough space, so we have to. The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in.
As you just saw, is chaos amongst our 4 trustees. They didn't come here to handle the business. They came here to do a political theater stunt, which you just saw.
As for the decision to lock the doors on Village Hall, a Henyard spokesperson blames, quote, threats of violence as a result of the continuous misinformation portrayed by the media and internet bloggers who are using Dolton as a means to generate ratings and revenue. Our staff and elected officials have received several disturbing communications via emails, social media, phone calls, and visitors from across the country. As such, our security protocols have changed. But residents we talked to believe the mayor is hiding behind a security threat to keep them out of her business.
because she have a lot of things she have to hide. She have to account for the money that's being spent.
In Dolton, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
So you see how the residents outside are speaking about, the lady says she's been there, living there for 37 years, and she's never been locked out of a municipal building. She's never been locked out. You see the reporter from the news is talking about, the news and the bloggers are covering this. But I want you guys to see this one woman that come up to speak, this one resident, excuse me, that come up to speak, and how she was disrespected by the police department. How she kept being cut off, and they kept cutting off her time because they didn't want this woman to speak. Check this out.
Loris Timms, 37-year resident of Dolton. In the 37 years I've been there, I've seen many changes. Some were for the better, some were not. And I think we're at a cross that in the road where we don't know to go right or left. And this has to change. I look at, as I come into this area, I look at Greenwood Falls. That entire street from 144th down to 147th. You don't see any paper. You don't see anything. But I live farther south, right off of Greenwood on 158th Street. We don't get those kind of services. I would like to buttress on what the person from Riverdale had to say. And he was talking about the meetings and scheduled meetings, and we shouldn't be having a squirrel meetings or whatever they're called. But ever since I've been in Dolton, there were 2 meetings scheduled each month, the 1st and the 3rd of each Monday of each month. That hasn't happened in, I know, at least 10 or 11 months. And I'd like to know why. There should be more than citizens' address. Some of our questions should be answered.
Ma'am, sorry, your 3 minutes are up. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do I stand corrected? Okay, then I stand corrected. I apologize. Okay, all right, no problem. No problem.
What I'm asking, and I look at the trustees that are sitting there, and the fact that I haven't seen one of the trustees in a week, not on television with all the 5 or 6 murders that were in Chicago. That person is always at the forefront wherever the cameras are. But I haven't seen that person. I'm not going to call any names. And that person is not here tonight. So I think that needs to be addressed by our mayor and anyone else that could answer that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I apologize, ma'am. Now your 3 minutes are up. Or 2 minutes. I apologize. 2 minutes.
And then lastly, we get to a woman whose husband was murdered, and she wants answers. She wants to know what happened and why it happened. And she wants some transparency. She wants the mayor and the police department to get to the bottom of what happened. And she just wants some closure. She's walking around without closure to the murder of her husband. And she wants to know what happened. And the level of non-transparency and not just caring is just crazy that's going on. But let's listen to this woman. Check this out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikisha Davis. I am the wife of murdered business owner Tavares Davis. I'm here because it's been almost 2 years since my husband has been murdered. There have been suspects that have been identified. I've been getting the runaround from the Dolton Police Department. And I'm here because I'd like answers. If there have been suspects that have been identified, then I want to know why there has not been an arrest. You all posted on the media that there was an arrest. You all said something in a board meeting and everyone clapped and cheered, but you didn't say that you all released him. There were 4 individuals, including my husband, and my husband ended up being killed. So why hasn't someone been arrested in this case? I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dolton Police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case. This is hurtful. When I've been in contact, I've been asking questions. I've been in contact with the state's attorney's office. I'm pushing this case. I've had the Crime Stoppers come out to do additional work, canvassing the neighborhood, to assist the police. And nothing has been done. My husband, Tavares Edward Davis, deserves justice. Thank you.
The city of Dolton, a small town of about 20,000 outside of the side of the city of Chicago, is in trouble. They're $7 million in debt. The people feel like they don't have a voice anymore. There are a lot of unanswered questions to traumas that's been going on in the people. It's like a powder keg. At any given time, that city could erupt, and violence and chaos could ensue into the streets because the people are fed up, and the people are upset, and the people want the mayor and the police department out of there. This is what they're asking for. They feel they feel like they done cried out to the media, they done cried out to the world, they done cried out to the FBI, and no change is coming. And when you do keep constantly doing that to a people, at some point it can get really bad, really fast, and really dangerous for everybody. So I pray for the city of Dolton. I pray that the residents stay calm and just be patient, because change is going to come, and this woman has to go. She has to go. Even hypothetically speaking, if she wasn't guilty of everything, just the mere fact that this thing that went so viral, it's got so infected that you can't even fix this. She has to go. It has to be an overhaul. This has to be done all over again. It has to be done all over again, because there's too much pain connected to this woman in the city and this regime. You also had a man that wasn't there, that's accused of the unthinkable. You had women, you have former employees that was locked out of their offices. Stores that's been shut down, and then she started a podcast and wasn't telling the truth on the people just to make herself look good. It's just not a good situation, man. It's not a good situation at all. But I'm going to cut this video short here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If you got this far in the video, hit that like button. Hit that like button so more of this message can get out to the algorithm. Support Street Media TV. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.